Hi, I'm Daphne Bramham, Vancouver Sun columnist, and with me today is Sylvia Holland. She's a Mount Pleasant resident who loves laneways, so what we're doing today is walking in back alleys. And we're obviously in an alley. So Sylvia, tell me what it is that attracts you to alleys.
The alleys to me are like the hidden face, or a whole entirely different face of a neighborhood than what you see when you walk the popular streets or the streets that any guidebook or that particular transactions take you to. And what I think is fantastic about laneways is just that they actually get us exploring again, because there's nothing that tells us what we're supposed to see or what we're supposed to find.
We've seen some very interesting things. One of the things we saw was this kind of little vignette where somebody set a table in the backyard. We also saw someone who is in the back of a glass shop making guitars. I mean, those are the kinds of things that you would never expect to see. I mean, you scarcely ever see them on the front streets.
Well, and maybe we could expect to see them more if we simply asked ourselves the question of where's the orphan space in our city? You know, where are the leftover spaces? And what could we do with them? You know, think about the laneway down in Gastown that last year during the game suddenly had several hundred umbrellas hung upside down and lights strung between the umbrellas.
Why have we let laneways kind of disintegrate?
Part of it is that people don't know their neighbors. They can live beside one another for a long time and they don't interact with their neighbors. That very conversation of, what are you doing dumping this over here? Or what about we plant this here?
One of the interesting examples we saw of that was in one lane where we saw somebody who'd taken an old canoe and turned it into a flower pot for beans, growing food in a city. I mean, that's another thing that we're sort of losing part of too, is that the back lanes used to be the entrance to the back garden.
That example was a great, safe example to extend the limits of urban agriculture potential. I don't think there's a recipe for making one laneway great. I think one of the things we would do is nothing at all. You know that when you actually start walking your laneways, you realize that you have places like this. I mean, you have huge trees and the power lines aren't necessarily in the way and they're not axed out in the middle. You start to get the feeling of country back in a place. You get onto Prospect where you can see out, you can suddenly see clear views of the mountains because they're unobstructed. A wonderful laneway would be like what we did beside the Lee building last month, and taking over a commercial lane and making a night market for incubator businesses, or let's open studio doors out the back. Let's do all that. Let's party in the lane, or let's encourage people to walk in these spaces. Let's use the back end of lots. To me, in a neighborhood like this and citywide, it's kind of crazy for us not to be thinking about the laneways in a lot of new ways.